My topic is on war and veteran studies, and I'm focusing on financial and personal effects of war on the family. Um, for my film source, I'm doing the movie Max, which came out in 2015. The reason I picked this is this movie is revolved around a dog, but I'm focusing on the Wincott family and the effects of losing their son in war, and specifically on the younger son, Justin, and how he reacts to losing his older brother. Um, Next, for my literature source, I'm focusing on this poem called A Soldier's Wife, and this is located on the blog Operation Proud Army Wives. I found this by typing in poetry about soldiers from the family or something like that, and this came up. And I scrolled down and I was reading them, and this one stuck out to me the most just because I just felt that it was very genuine. It's written by Ashley Saltonstall, and she just talks about like being alone, and she's counting the hours that he comes home, and it just shows raw emotion that she probably couldn't express either to her husband because one, he was away at war or he was dead. And this is very important because it's unedited, and she posted it, but obviously she doesn't think that the whole world is going to see it, so she's most likely being really honest about her feelings. Another literature source I'm using is a book called American Wife by Taya Kyle. And this is the wife of Chris Kyle, famous for the movie American Sniper, who was murdered after coming home from war. And the reason I chose this is it expresses how life is without her husband. And but this one is probably more edited, probably not as honest as the poetry would be. Maybe it is, I'm not sure, but just because she knows that it's being published for the world to see, I think maybe she would put a little bit more editing on it. So I'll just have to be careful with that. But I'm not exactly sure what particular part I'm going to use in this book yet, but I should be checking it out pretty soon, so I'll find that out. Then for my other source, which I'm doing music, I chose two songs. The first song being Carrie Underwood, Just a Dream. And the reason I chose this song is it's based off of a young girl who's engaged to a soldier. And she wrote the song explaining that the soldier was killed, and she basically says how what should be like going down the aisle, but what really is she's going to his funeral. It's really sad, and the one part that I'm actually focusing on is this part right here. The preacher man said, "Let us bow our heads and pray. Lord, please lift his soul and heal this hurt." Then the congregation all stood up and sang the saddest song that she ever heard. Then they handed her a folded up flag, and she held on to it with all she had left of him. Oh, and what could have been. And then the guns rang one last shot, and it felt like a bullet in her heart. The reason I chose this song is because there's probably a lot of women that feel this way, that all they have left is this flag that the military give them, and their husband's gone, and I'm sure they're proud of their husband, but they probably have selfish feelings wanting their husband back. So I chose that just to just finding like the honesty and different views of how people handle losing their spouse in war. Another song that I chose is by Lee Brice, and it's I Drive Your Truck. And the reason I chose this song is I actually read up about it, and the songwriter of the song, which is not Lee Brice, but the songwriter was listening to the radio one day, and she heard this couple say that the way they cope with their with losing their son in Afghanistan is driving his truck. And so this woman went and wrote the song about that. And my favorite part in this is, and Mama asked me this morning if I'd been by your grave, but that flag and stone ain't where I feel you anyway. And the reason I like that line so much is because I think that shows that people deal with losing their husband or brother or any relative different ways. This person drives the truck that they once drove, and it's just really sad, but it's the way they cope. And so I picked that just to find different ways that people do cope with the loss of their relatives. So yeah, that is my sources, and yeah.